What's up everybody, Silver here. Right off the bat we have a trick for you, so pay attention. We're going to start off this level and we're going to take a left right when you come to this first arch, and you can actually get up and out of the map. Make sure you drag your tummy along the top of the structure there, and you want to keep your nose up, otherwise you will die. But once you do get out of the map, you could go down and to the right and boost, and you will get out of that soft kill zone. And you can see the death timer is no longer in effect, and we are safely out of here, and this is much easier, much quicker, if you could pull this trick off. It's not totally necessary, it's just going to save us some time, and time is a factor when it comes to par scores for some reason. So let's introduce what the video is about. It is about par scores, like I just mentioned. This is the par score for the last level in Halo 4, Midnight, and the achievement that goes along with getting the par score is Witching Hour. So that's the one we're going for right now. I should mention that you want to go under these tunnels when I do and where I do, because that's what gets the next section of tunnel to spawn. So we went up under the curve of the tunnel, and that got this section to spawn. Now we want to go under these pillars that are kind of flashing, and they are outlined in some red hieroglyphics, not hieroglyphics, but Forerunner glyphs and nonsense. So you want to go under those. I went too far under those, so I doubled back, and you could see the screen froze for a split second, and that is how you know you are spawning in the next section. Follow this path, and you want to go under the tunnel right about here, and that will spawn in the next section and also despawn the last few sections. And you can see it is no longer here now that we're doubling back, and you want to enter the tunnel here. You could enter it further up, but this is much easier to just get in here. Don't go too far back to where the tunnel used to be, because you will die all of a sudden. And just slowly but surely make your way in here. I've sped this part up, obviously, because it's pretty straightforward. And just follow this path, and we are at the end. There is an easier, well, not an easier, there is another way to get into this last section, and it involves just going straight to it rather than doubling back and going into the tunnel from where the tunnel despawned. But this is definitely much easier to do and comprehend from watching a video on YouTube. And frankly, it's just easier to show and explain, and it works just fine for our purposes. So we took out that center orange sphere thingy in the middle of the map here, and that opens up these 4 other spheres that we gotta blow up. And while I'm doing that, I'm just taking out some of these guns on the way. You don't have to take out any of them, but obviously we're going for points, so you might as well get a few while we're taking out these orange balls in order to get into the Forerunner ship here. So you can see they're worth a lot of points. I'm doing this on Legendary. I forget if I mentioned it or not. You could do it on any difficulty, but I recommend either Heroic or Legendary, because the higher the difficulty, the more points you get for every kill. So obviously, the easier it is to kill people, but you'll get less points for those kills. So you kind of want it to be a little bit up there in the difficulty rating. It depends on your comfort level and all that nonsense. And you could always throw on some skulls, which I'll talk about, which tends to make the game a little more challenging in some ways, but some of them you could kind of put on and have little to no effect based on what it is and what level we're dealing with and all that nonsense, what enemies are in the level. So we'll go over some that I have on, but for now we're just killing some watchers. So grab your battle rifle, or whip it out, whatever, and take out these 4 watchers. You want to try to take them out before they spawn in one of the Forerunner turrets. You could see that third one there was trying to spawn one of them. So we don't got time for that. But there are 4 watchers in this room. We've killed them all, and we can move on to the next room now. So we're going to go in here, and there's going to be 2 Promethean Knights that spawn, and one is going to let out at least 1 watcher. Well, they can only let out 1, but the other one might let it out too. That guy that I just assassinated is scripted to go there. He always goes there and lets out that watcher, so you can take that opportunity to run up behind him and assassinate him. So that eliminates one of the, or I was about to say hunters. That's a way to eliminate one of the knights very quickly and easily. And he has a scatter shot, so that's definitely one that you want to take out quickly. So you'll notice throughout the level that a lot of grenades are being thrown at me. It's because I have the catch skull on. Like you can see, this guy is throwing grenades at me right now. And this actually is beneficial. It increases our multiplier, but it also makes knights way easier to deal with. If you time it right, like you can see I did right there, you could easily wrap up and around the knights as they're throwing grenades at you while they're in the middle of that animation, and you could just smack them in the back. You could go into the fancy animation, or you could just do the regular smack to the back. I recommend doing the smack to the back and quickly moving on if you're in a big crowd of people, because of the fact that those other people in the crowd will continue to shoot at you while you're in that fancy animation. So that's not cool. So we're moving on to this next section, just more watchers, some crawlers, and there's going to be 3 Promethean Knights up here. You could grab some more light rifle ammo in this crate right here, so that's good. The final terminal in this game is right there. I just looked at it, zoomed in. If you need help with any other terminals or collectibles like skulls or the blast soda cans or audio logs in ODST, I have all those guides up for you, so check out the channel. I have lazo guides and speedrun guides and pretty much anything you could ever want. So anyway, we're just going to run past these 3 Promethean Knights because they're just going to throw grenades at us for the most part, and we could save some time by just running by them. They are worth a lot of points, but we're going to get plenty of points on our way to the end of the level. So I sped this part up. It's more running. There's more light rifle ammo in that crate I just ran up to. We're going to put Cortana in here and just waiting around a little bit so you can see why I sped it up. Cortana, do your thing, open up this, whatever it is, portal thingamabob, and we are warped to the next section, and it's just a handful of crawlers in this little hallway type thing. So just take these guys out with some headshots from your light rifle. You may have your battle rifle still, but watch out for the one in the back. He does have a binary rifle, so you don't want to let him take a shot at you. It takes him a little bit to warm up his binary rifle, but he still could shoot you pretty quickly, so you don't want to spend too much time in his eyesight. So these guys, there's a bunch of Promethean Knights in this area. They will probably let out some Watchers as well, so you can see I took them out easily with the saw. The saw is great at dealing with Watchers from close in, and some Knights as well. You can see I just took that guy out. But this section in particular, you kind of want to take cover a lot because there are 4 or 5 Promethean Knights in here, and one has a binary rifle, so if he could see you, he could shoot you. So you want to make sure you're not in his line of vision ever, for a prolonged period of time at least, because he could kill you from across the map. And also that goes for the incineration cannon wielding knight at the end. He could also kill you from across the map, though he is less likely because he's much further away than the binary rifle guy. The binary rifle guy is right up this ramp here, but since we're fairly close to him, you can see he's starting to throw grenades at us, which is a benefit of the catch skull. So when you time it right, it might take a little bit of practice to get that timing down, but once he starts throwing it and you're pretty close to him, oh, look at that, I got my 1,000 Knights achievement for killing 1,000 Knights. That's nice. Well, got that out of the way, I guess. But anyway, like I was saying, it may take some practice to get that timing down to be able to run up and assassinate them fairly reliably every time. But we're just going to run through here. This knight, thankfully, is throwing grenades at us as well, so we're just going to assassinate him. I guess you could run by him and into the portal, but why not just smack him real quick to get those points? You can see he's worth a lot of points. I have on Tough Luck as well, which makes enemies dive out of the way more often when you try to splatter them with a vehicle, or if you're trying to noob combo them with an overcharged plasma pistol, or if you're trying to stick them with a grenade. Or just throw a grenade, I guess, in general at their feet. They'll dive out of the way more often. So we're going to roll through here once this portal opens, and here we go. And this knight will have his back to us every time, so it's an easy assassination for a lot of points. And these crawlers will always jump up right about there, so get ready with a precision weapon of some kind so you can headshot these guys as they come up. And in this room it's just a bunch more crawlers and watchers and knights, so we're just going to handle them like we do normally. I do have Thunderstorm on as well, which is a skull. It gets your multiplier up, and it's pretty much a freebie because of the fact that none of these enemies really are promoted when you turn the Thunderstorm skull on. That's more of a Covenant skull. It affects the Covenant more than the Prometheans. So you can see that I'm doing some dances with these Promethean Knights. There's a bunch of them, and we're just going to take out most of them fairly easily by timing it and just going in for the assassination once they throw that grenade, that pulse grenade they like to throw so much. And I think I have on Cowbell as well, but that doesn't multiply your score, but it doesn't decrease your score either. It's kind of a skull that doesn't really affect your score, but it does affect the physics of the game. It makes the explosions more explodey. So it could be beneficial, it could be detrimental, depending on what's happening around you and everything. But I don't have it on for any reason for this level. I just had it left over from my Composer run, which I do use it for one instance in that level to skip part of the level. And I might have Famine on, I'm not sure. I forget in this run through if I had Famine on. There's plenty of ammo for most of this stuff. Actually, thinking about it, I don't think I do because I had plenty of light rifle ammo that I was picking up from enemies. So I don't think I had it on. It is an option though. You could always look at these skulls yourself, and whatever you're comfortable with putting on, you could put on as well, but I think those are the most easy to deal with. You could put on Fog, I guess, which takes away your radar, so if you know where the enemies are, you could take that off and put the skull on, and you'll get some more points for that. But once we come through this portal, you want to incinerate that guy right as he spawns. He has a binary rifle, so he could kill you very quickly, so you don't want to have to deal with that crap. And then just headshot all these crawlers as you go, and reload. There's more light rifle ammo right at this crate here. And now we just have to deal with a bunch of crawlers. They're going to come up this bridge type thing over here. So just set yourself right here, set yourself up, do some sharp shooting with your precision weapon here, the light rifle. And there's a bunch of crawlers you can see crawling down the walls over there, so you could take them out while they're still on the walls. They're a little tougher to hit while they're on the wall though, so you could just wait for them to start galloping your way when they are a lot easier to hit because they're kind of facing at you. They're more square to you. But you can take them out while they're on the wall too. Save a little bit of time if you're feeling lucky. Reload as much as you need to. There's still plenty of ammo behind me. Right here at this crate. I'll keep going back to this crate to refill. And once you kill all those guys down the hall, there will be crawlers that come down these 2 pillars. So you can see they spawn up here in that little barrel type thing. So you want to just take them out as far up as you can, because obviously once they get down to the ground they can start attacking you more. So if you just take them out while they're up there, they're not really a threat at all. So once you kill enough of those guys, they'll start coming down this bridge again. So you want to kind of keep an eye out, keep an ear out, just to make sure you aren't surrounded or anything. That would be no good. And then, you know, just continue to shoot the monkeys in the barrel, except for their crawlers in a barrel. Crawlers in a Forerunner structure. And you can see these guys are coming up the bridge still, but that's fine. Just take them out as they come upon us. And basically we're just holding out while Cortana does something in the computer. I don't know what she's doing. She could be taking a nap for all I know. She could certainly use one. She's absolutely crazy right now. But hopefully we could move on. There we go. Cortana's back on the pedestal, so we could grab her. And you want to make sure you grab some Forerunner light rifle ammo before you go. Looks like... nope, I am going to. I was about to say, looks like I'm not going to do that. Follow my own advice, but I do. Got some crate ammo right there. Or light rifle ammo from the crate. And you want to try to headshot as many of these guys as you go down. Obviously take them out as quickly as possible so they don't kind of hold you back while you're trying to get into that portal at the end there. You could just wait for a while and wait for them to dissipate and then head down here. There's also a way to launch yourself down here with a gravity hammer and a box. But that one takes a little bit of practice and a little bit of time to master, so we don't want to have to do that for the simple par score achievement. Well, I guess I shouldn't say simple, but it's simpler than mastering that trick, which is more in line for a speed run or a laser run. So we made it through the portal. This point, we just got to run through this man cannon type thing right at the end of this platform here, and we'll be launched over. I cut that part out because it's like 30 to 40 seconds of me just floating through the air. You don't need to see that. We're at the next part here. We've landed, and there's a bunch of ammo on either side. You can see I have a, whatever this is called, a, I can't, auto sentry or whatever, and it said hold X or whatever, hold right bumper to grab another auto sentry. So I'm like, why is it asking me to do that? Because I already have one. So that was kind of weird. Maybe I have a special one or something now. I don't know. Probably not. But I sped this part up too because we all know how this goes. Cortana turns into many Cortanas. Like on Yielding Hierophant, or however you say that word from First Strike, the 3rd book ever written by Eric Nyland. You novel readers know what I'm talking about. Spoiler alert. Halo 4 was not the first time that Cortana split off multiple copies of herself. Did I say Yielding Hierophant? I meant Unyielding Hierophant. Sorry, there's so many syllables in these words that I'm saying. I can't handle it. But anyway, we're across here. We're just taking these people out as we normally do. Headshot the crawlers. And you could just go for the Watchers with your lovely light rifle as well. Why not? And there's a way to skip the section where we have to climb up some ramps and deal with more enemies. We could just grenade jump up here if you have saved your frag grenades by this point. This isn't totally necessary. It just kind of skips some enemies and makes it go a little bit quicker. Get out of here, crawler. And you jump up here, and a lot of enemies will spawn right under your nose. Here they all are. Not cool, but don't worry. You could just jump back here for cover if you need to. And there's a bunch of crawlers that would normally spawn, and you're normally on the other side of this map and kind of towards the right when you spawn these people, once you go over a light bridge that you activate. But by doing this, we save some time, and we also don't have to deal with as many enemies. So, I am doing this, but feel free to take your time and go up the ramp like you normally would and play through this normally. If this is too much trouble for you, or you don't have any frag grenades left, obviously grenade jumping with a plasma grenade or a pulse grenade is a lot worse of an idea than it is with a frag grenade. But in real life, they're all terrible ideas. Don't do it in real life. But anyway, you can see there's just a lot of crawlers and a couple watchers in this section, and there is an incineration cannon wielding knight on the end of this platform towards the left. So that is the only big bad guy you got to watch out for. The next platform like this that we got to deal with, there are going to be a bunch of knights, like 6 or 7 or so. So we're going to have to deal with a lot of them then. But for now, we just got to headshot a bunch of crawlers and deal with those annoying, pesky watchers. And we could refuel our incineration cannon ammo with this guy's incineration cannon. How nice of him. He left it behind. He disappeared with that cool Forerunner effect where he kind of dissolves in midair, but he left his nice little incineration cannon for us. What a saint. I could see why the Forerunners made this man a knight thousands of years ago. What a noble man. But anyway, jump across here, and we're actually going to skip this whole section. You could take out a couple crawlers as you go, like these guys. But we're just going to jump up here and jump up here, keep jumping up. We could jump all the way to the top here, and we could hide behind these crates. You could use these crates to refuel. You can see I don't have much light rifle ammo at all left, but this crate right here in particular has light rifle ammo, so now I am full of light rifle, which is great for this last section. Actually, don't use it too much in this last section now that I think about it, but we'll just go over this lift once our shield has recharged, and we'll just go over here. There's another knight that spawns right there. We're going to try to get him to go into his grenade throwing mode, which he's doing right now. Go up behind him and just smack him. I didn't mean to go into that fancy animation. Sometimes it's a little tough to not do, but, you know, we'll take it. We got the points anyway, and we got some cover here, so we could get our shield back. And there's another knight over there still, so we want to make sure that we take him out before we do our grenade jump thing again. And again, you don't have to do this grenade jump thing. It doesn't save that much time. And obviously, if you're going for points, it's good to also go up to the other side to get points in and of itself. But time is a factor, like I mentioned as well, so it's kind of a dealer's choice. So I killed that guy. Looks like there's nobody else in the area, so I'm going to do the grenade jump. It's like the first time I use the auto sentry, I think, this level. But whatever, I don't really use it. I always forget about the whatever armor abilities I'm carrying, and I just kind of deal with it without them, for the most part. But anyway, you can see I'm doing the same thing I did last time, except for, oh, I guess I'm deploying the auto sentry again. But this time there's a bunch of knights that spawn up here, so I go to the back here and assassinate at least one of them before they notice I'm here. And now they're all just throwing a bunch of grenades at me because of the fact that the catch skull is on, so they don't really shoot at me nearly as much as they would otherwise, so that is very helpful. This guy, we'll take him out too. He made the mistake of throwing a grenade at me, opening up his back for assassination. And we have our trusty incineration cannon that is pretty much full. I disposed of one elite with it already, and now two. And by elite, I of course mean knight. These are kind of like elites. They're like the elites of the Forerunner class. But, you know, just take out these guys as you can. Oh, that guy just totally warped and dodged my incineration cannon. Not cool. Once you kill enough of the knights in the back here who are wielding suppressors and light rifles, there will be another scattershot knight that spawns in the middle, and that is the one who dodged my nonsense just there. But I just killed him with another one. And I'm going to attack that incineration cannon wielding knight with my own incineration cannon. And be aware that one shot with an incineration cannon does not kill the knights that are actually wielding incineration cannons. They have too much power, so you gotta shoot them with an incineration cannon, and then you can see I headshot them with the light rifle afterwards. But here we go. We have taken down the Didact shield, but he's like, oh my god, still you failed because you're a terrible human being, literally. And now I'm just gonna compose all of New Phoenix. Sorry guys. But then, you know, we're just going to save the day, me and Cortana as usual. But then all of a sudden he's just going to, you know, blow up our spot, almost literally. Definitely blowing up Cortana's spot, because now she is a dissolving piece of pedestal, which actually sounds kind of insulting, you dissolving piece of pedestal. But it's not really. We all know what it means. So now we're enraged. We're going into full tank mode because the Didact just straight up dissolved our girlfriend. So we grabbed the remaining ammo from that incineration cannon wielding knight we killed right at the end there. So now we have a few more rounds in our own, and we could kill this guy. That guy always spawns right there. And the two up here, I actually forget the fact that they take more than one hit from the incineration cannon. So you can see I totally ignored the one to my left now because I think he's dead. I start freaking out. Luckily, I was able to turn around and get a headshot on him before he was able to do too much damage to me while I was not paying attention. And like I said, same goes for that other one up here who took not just one incineration cannon, but one and then some light rifle ammo. So we move up to this light bridge type thing here, and I'm going to deploy my auto sentry for no reason other than I was just trying to see if I could get it into the cutscene. Spoiler alert, it does not go in there. I skipped the cutscene, but I can confirm it does not go into the cutscene, which is lame. If it was a previous Halo game, it probably would have, just from how they did cutscenes in the past. So at this point, you just want to climb up and then mash the button that throws your grenade, whatever controller scheme you have. Just keep hitting it. Just start right now. Just mash, 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 and you'll in no way be able to miss that window where you plant the grenade in his chest. For some reason, it told me to hold the right trigger to fire a machine gun. I think that was left over from the broadsword we were flying in the beginning of the level, so that was an odd glitch. But I ignored it and I did my own thing, which was throwing a pulse grenade into the chest of the Didact by hitting the left trigger. But again, it might be different for you depending on your controller scheme, but we run up to here, or crawl up to here rather. look up at Earth, look down at space, and it kind of seems like we're upside down here. But anyway, activate the nuclear device, and that is it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Click like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Follow me on Twitter at HaloCompletion and on Twitch at SilverScorpion4. That's Silver Scorpion and the number 4, and I will see you guys later for more Halo achievements.